After enrolling at Northwood University, Liam found himself with a fantastic group of roommates and couldn't have been happier. But slowly, things started to feel off. A strange tension had developed between his roommates, Sam and Chris, for reasons no one could figure out. And then there was Leo, the guy in the bunk across from him, who seemed determined to be in his orbit at all times. They called him Leo the Lion because of his untamed, curly hair. He was generally a good guy, always ready for a late-night gaming session and often leaving snacks on Liam's desk, like a perfectly peeled orange with all the pith removed. But he had a possessive streak. If Liam made plans with anyone else and didn't include him, Leo would retreat into a quiet, simmering moodiness that was exhausting to manage. This friendship was proving to be a lot of work. During fall break, the group planned a trip to a rented lodge in the mountains, complete with a hot tub, to give Sam and Chris a push toward resolving their weirdness. The others conspired to give them their own room. That left Liam sharing with Leo. That night, Liam stepped out of the shower to find Leo standing on the balcony, the cool mountain air rustling his curls. He had a boyish charm that, combined with his naturally curly hair, often made him look impossibly innocent. Leo explained that he'd accidentally spilled a glass of water on his bed while trying to drink in the dark. He then quietly asked if he could possibly share with Liam. Liam agreed without much thought. It was a standard two-queen room, and besides, they were friends. It wasn't as if they hadn't crashed on the same couch in the common room before after pulling an all-nighter. Sometimes Leo would insist they watch a movie on his laptop, stretched out on Liam's bed, and would end up falling asleep right there beside him. He was a quiet sleeper, never moving much or snoring. After turning off the lights, Liam lay in bed scrolling through his phone. A moment later, he felt an arm wrap around his waist as Leo pressed up against his back. Liam asked him what he was doing. Leo mumbled into his shoulder, his voice thick with sleep, explaining that he was a little freaked out by the unfamiliar sounds of the woods and couldn't fall asleep. The warmth of his breath on the back of Liam's neck was unnerving. Liam shifted toward the edge of the mattress, nearly falling off. He complained that it was too hot to be held like that. Leo's counteroffer, asking if Liam wanted to hold him instead, was tinged with a hopeful curiosity. Liam frowned into the darkness, his patience wearing thin. He told him to stop messing around. He was right there, so there was nothing to be afraid of. His tone was sharper than he intended. Leo said nothing more and silently withdrew his arm. Liam didn't need to see him to know he was pouting. His lower lip pushed out in that way it always was when he was upset. Liam shut off his phone, but the person beside him tossed and turned, seemingly unable to settle. It really did seem like he couldn't sleep. With a sigh of resignation, Liam gave in, telling him fine, he could hold on, but to please stop moving. The words were barely out of his mouth before Leo was pressed against him again. It was definitely too warm, but Liam didn't push him away this time. When they got back from the trip, there was still one day left of the break. Liam had just logged into his game when he got an invite from a girl he'd met in a previous match. She was a wickedly skilled mid-laner. Just as he was about to accept, the dorm room door opened and Leo peered over his shoulder. He questioned if Liam was playing with a girl again, his tone accusatory. Liam clarified that it wasn't again, just a random encounter. Leo's brow furrowed with a serious expression as he insisted on joining, quickly grabbing his own phone. He placed a container of cherry tomatoes on Liam's desk, mentioning he'd picked them up on his way back from lunch. Liam stared at the small, red fruit. It wasn't the first time Leo had done something like this, and he couldn't help but wonder if his roommate was being a little too nice to him lately. He certainly never saw Leo treating Sam or Chris with the same level of thoughtfulness. As he was pondering this, the game began. The girl played a mage in the middle lane, Leo took the marksman role in the bottom lane, and Liam was left to fend for himself as the solo top laner. Without their usual jungler, Sam, they were stuck with a random player who was not only terrible but also quick to blame everyone else for his failings. The enemy team relentlessly targeted Leo, and their jungler made no effort to help. The bottom lane was turning into a slaughterhouse. Soon, their team was at a significant disadvantage. Before they could say anything, their jungler started typing. He directed a stream of insults at Leo, questioning his lineage and his skill. Before Leo could even respond, Liam was already firing back. He typed that he was Leo's father, and it was his own failure for not raising his son properly. He told the guy to check the goal difference before starting a fight and to stop leading the team into suicide missions. The jungler then turned his rage on Liam, asking why he cared what he said to the marksman. Liam's response was swift and absolute. His business was Liam's business. The argument devolved from there. The jungler, unable to win the war of words, started intentionally feeding the enemy team, running straight into them to die. Liam gritted his teeth, wishing he could reach through the screen. He repeatedly signaled for a retreat, but the moron would just charge forward again, using his flash ability to teleport directly into his grave. They lost the match quickly. Checking the stats, Liam saw the jungler's score was 0-16. He'd never seen anything so pathetic. The entire team reported him. If Liam had committed a crime, he thought, the law should punish him, not some trash-tier gamer sent to destroy his mental state. He was still fuming when he looked up and saw Leo smiling, a small dimple appearing on his right cheek. Liam asked him what was so funny. They'd just gotten demolished. Leo just shrugged, his good mood unshaken, and said he felt great and was ready for another round. Later that afternoon, a classmate from his experimental physics group messaged him about getting together for dinner. It was really an excuse to catch up on the lab work they'd missed over the break. Liam had completely forgotten about it. He told Leo he wouldn't be able to join him for their usual movie night. Leo looked a bit disappointed but didn't press the issue. Still, Liam saw the way his curls bounced as he turned away, a sure sign of his dejection. It was strange. Sometimes Leo acted more like a sensitive girlfriend than a college buddy. Yet he was also the first one to step up and have Liam's back in a real fight, physically shielding him from trouble. Liam ended up staying at the lab late and didn't see Leo's messages. When he got back to the dorm, Leo was ignoring him, his eyes fixed on Liam with a silent, wounded glare. Amused, Liam tried to explain that he had been too wrapped up in the experiment to check his phone. Leo just scoffed. He asked if Liam was so busy having dinner with the girl from his group that he couldn't spare a moment to reply. Liam explained that he hadn't seen the message because of the flood of other notifications, and that he'd had dinner with the entire group, not just her. Besides, he added, he didn't have a habit of checking his phone during meals. Leo just pouted and said nothing more. It took some effort, but Liam managed to coax him out of his bad mood. This wasn't the first time he'd had to do it. He was getting so used to it that he knew exactly what to say to make Leo feel better. Lying in bed that night, Liam replayed Leo's recent behavior in his mind. Something felt fundamentally wrong. A little possessiveness between friends was normal, but this felt different. He was spending his days placating Leo as if he were a romantic partner. Did he really need to report his every move? The thought jolted him awake. He scrolled through his phone, looking for someone to talk to, but found no suitable confidant. Instead, he opened Reddit and, under an anonymous account, laid out the situation with his roommate. He ended the post by asking if this was normal, if all roommates were like this. After posting, his feed was suddenly flooded with content about gay relationships. He accidentally clicked on one and fell down a rabbit hole, gaining some unexpected knowledge. He didn't sleep well that night. His 8 a.m. class felt like a death sentence. As he dragged his tired body out of bed, he found that Leo had already bought him breakfast. A coffee and a bagel sat on his desk. It was almost too domestic. Liam stared at him, unable to shake the images from the night before. His mind was a tangled mess. Leo noticed his gaze and asked what he was looking at. Liam mumbled that it was nothing. Leo grabbed his chemistry textbook and hurried out, saying he was heading to class. Liam was in the physics department. Left alone, Liam ran a hand through his hair and lightly punched his own head. He had to stop thinking crazy thoughts. He slipped into his lecture just as it started, his mind completely elsewhere. All he could picture was Leo. Annoyed with himself, he opened Reddit to check for replies to his post. The notifications had exploded. For a second, he feared he was being cyberbullied. But the comments were all in agreement. One user wrote that his roommate was definitely into him, betting 2 bags of flamin' hot Cheetos on it. Another commented on how sweet the roommate sounded and told Liam to let them know when they got together. A third simply begged him to give the guy a chance. Liam felt his head spin. What nonsense were these strangers talking about? There was no way Leo liked him. He was sure they weren't gay. But once a thought takes root, it grows like a weed, and suddenly, all the little details and moments started to connect, forming a picture that was increasingly unsettling. For the next few days, Liam made himself busy, spending all his free time playing basketball with friends, deliberately avoiding Leo. Leo seemed to notice. One evening, as they were heading to the dining hall, he tried to talk to Liam about it. He asked why Liam hadn't been inviting him to play ball lately, wondering if he thought he was a bad player. Liam mumbled that it wasn't that. Leo pressed, his expression anxious, asking what was wrong. Liam hesitated, then tried to play it off as a joke. He said he just needed some space, that no friends hang out every single second of the day. People would think they were a couple. Leo froze, his fork hovering over his plate of pasta. He didn't take another bite. Liam had meant it as a test, but he could see the genuine hurt in Leo's eyes. He was about to backtrack when Leo suddenly looked up, his gaze intense. "So what if I wanted to be a couple? Would you be okay with that?" Liam's eyes widened, the words catching in his throat. After a few seconds of stunned silence, he forced a laugh and told Leo not to joke around. But Leo was serious. He said that if Liam didn't hate him, he wanted to try pursuing him. His eyes shone with a sincerity that was impossible to mistake. Liam felt his mind go blank. His fork slipped from his grasp and clattered onto the floor. He never answered the question directly that day. He pretended he hadn't heard, focusing on his food. Leo seemed to understand and didn't bring it up again. After the confession, things were irrevocably different. Liam could no longer joke around with him like before. For a solid week, he actively dodged Leo, his mind in turmoil. Luckily, his coursework was demanding, giving him a perfect excuse to bury himself in the lab. One evening, a girl in his group, Isabel, messed up an experiment and frantically asked for his help. They worked together to sort out the data and rerun the procedure, staying very late. On his way back to the dorm, he ran into Leo, who was just leaving the library. Liam tensed, his first instinct to pretend he hadn't seen him, but Leo blocked his path. "Liam, if you're going to avoid me, you could at least be less obvious about it." Leo clutched his books tightly, a flicker of regret in his eyes. He was tall, and when he wasn't smiling, he had a cool, handsome intensity that could be intimidating. Liam mumbled that he just didn't know how to act around him. Leo tried to sound casual, suggesting that if Liam wasn't interested, they could just go back to being bros. He clapped Liam on the shoulder with forced cheerfulness, but his eyes were dark with disappointment. Liam nodded, a mix of relief and something else he couldn't name churning inside him as they walked back to the dorm together. Just bros. It sounded simple, but some things, once broken, couldn't be pieced back together in the same way. It was impossible to be as carefree as they had been. On Friday, Leo came back from dinner with a box of donuts. He habitually placed it on Liam's desk and told him to eat them while they were fresh. Sam glanced over at them and smirked, remarking on how good Leo was to him. A nerve was struck. Liam shot up from his chair as if he'd been poked. He handed the box back to Leo. Leo looked confused, asking what was wrong, reminding him that those were his favorite. Liam claimed he was too full and not in the mood for sweets. Leo's expression fell as he understood Liam's attempt to create distance. He said nothing more. He saw Liam and Sam getting ready to play a game and asked if he could join. Annoyed for no clear reason, Liam shut off his phone, saying he'd been playing too long and was tired. He told them to go ahead without him. Leo just said, "Oh," his lips forming a pronounced pout. He opened the box of donuts with a frustrated sigh and proceeded to eat all 4 by himself, biting into them with a vengeance. He nearly choked and had to quickly chug some water. Liam's hand twitched, his instinct to pat him on the back, but he stopped himself. His head was a mess. He retreated to the bathroom to take a shower, hoping the steam would clear his thoughts. He was terrified of anyone noticing the strange dynamic between him and Leo. He didn't want people calling Leo weird, and he didn't want their strange looks directed at him. It reminded him of his childhood. Kids had bullied him for not having a father, and when they found out he was the illegitimate son of a wealthy businessman, they isolated him even more. Illegitimate. It was a label that felt dirty, something to be hidden. As soon as you were different, people saw it as a weapon to use against you. He hated that feeling. And now, facing Leo, he felt completely lost. Over the weekend, he barely went back to the dorm, lingering in the lab instead. Leo seemed to sense his avoidance and stopped trying to initiate contact. They both started coming back late, as if by unspoken agreement, to minimize the chance of running into each other. When their group project concluded, Isabel asked him out to dinner to thank him for his help. Liam declined, saying it was no big deal. As he was leaving, Isabel caught up to him, saying she was heading to the dining hall too, so they could walk together. As they passed the campus basketball courts, he saw Leo playing with a tall guy he didn't recognize. He'd heard Leo mention him before, a guy named Caleb from the varsity team. It was clear Caleb was letting Leo win, smiling with a sort of fond exasperation after Leo scored on him. They seemed close, their movements in sync. A knot formed in Liam's stomach. During a break, Leo took a drink of water and glanced in their direction. Their eyes met for a few seconds. Though nothing happened, Liam felt a jolt of guilt, like he'd been caught doing something wrong. He quickly looked down and hurried away with Isabel. Back in the dorm, hours passed and Leo still hadn't returned. Was he still with Caleb? Liam picked up his phone, bored, and found himself scrolling through his chat history with Leo. The last message was from before the confession, with Leo asking him what he wanted for dinner. As he scrolled further up, he realized something. It was always Leo who initiated everything. Leo who asked to eat together, to go to the library, to play games. When had this kid even started liking him? Suddenly, the door swung open. Liam looked up, ready to make a sarcastic comment about Leo's basketball skills to break the awkward silence. But it was Chris. He looked surprised to see Liam alone and asked where Leo was. Liam could only say he didn't know. Chris raised an eyebrow, remarking that it was a first. He thought Liam always knew where Leo was. He was right. Since that day, Liam had no idea what Leo was up to anymore, other than that he came home very late. The unfamiliarity of it was unsettling. Life went on. Liam attended his classes and played games when he was bored, but something felt empty. Eating alone in the dining hall felt wrong. Occasionally, he would see Leo and Caleb on the basketball court. It was strange. Weren't they spending a little too much time together? Didn't Caleb have team practice? Leo was lean. How could he possibly keep up with a varsity athlete? If he got hurt, it would be his own fault. The thought soured Liam's mood. He decided he would ask Leo to play ball the next day. When he approached Leo, the other boy looked surprised. Then his gaze dropped. He said he couldn't. Liam asked why, if he already had plans with Caleb. Leo denied it, then looked at him with a strange expression. "You've been avoiding me. Why ask me to play all of a sudden?" Liam stammered, saying he just wanted to go back to being friends, that they couldn't stay in the stalemate forever. Leo frowned, his voice barely a whisper. "Be friends with you? And watch you date someone else?" Liam didn't catch what he said and asked him to repeat it. But Leo was already angry and refused. "Nothing. I'm leaving." Liam asked where he was going, if he was meeting Caleb. Leo's voice was sharp. "Move. Who I see is none of your business." Liam reached out to stop him, but only managed to grab the corner of his shirt as he walked away. The tightness in his chest grew heavier. They were in a cold war. It was ridiculous. He was in a cold war with another guy. After a week of being treated like he was invisible, Liam couldn't take it anymore. You'd think he was the one who got rejected. Late one night, he opened his phone, trying to think of something to say. His finger slipped and he accidentally activated the nudge feature on Leo's profile. Panicked, he quickly typed a message. "Liam, I'll get you breakfast tomorrow. What do you want?" Leo, "Not hungry." Liam, "What about lunch?" Leo, "Have plans." The conversation was dead. Liam pursed his lips, not daring to press further. He knew if he asked, Leo would just say he had plans with Caleb. The next day, leaving the physics building, Liam was discussing a project with Isabel. As they walked out, they ran into Sam and Chris. Sam shot him a knowing look, his eyes glinting with mischief. Back at the dorm, Sam couldn't hold it in any longer. He asked who the girl was, commenting on how intensely she had been staring at Liam while they talked. Liam dismissed it, saying she was just a classmate. Sam teased that he might not be thinking anything, but that didn't mean others weren't. Liam playfully punched him. Leo was watching a show on his laptop. Hearing their conversation, his fingers paused on the keyboard. He put on his headphones. Liam had been about to try talking to him, but the cold look on Leo's face was a clear deterrent. Over the next few days, all of Liam's attempts to break the ice failed. The kid seemed determined to ignore him. During a particularly boring lecture, Liam was scrolling through social media when he saw that the movie Leo had been anticipating for months was finally out. This was his chance. He excitedly bought 2 tickets for Saturday, planning to ask Leo to go. That night, Leo came back late, practically bouncing with energy. Liam was about to speak when he overheard him telling Chris that he'd gone to see a movie. Chris casually asked who he went with. Leo's smile was bright as he said it was his childhood friend, Caleb, and that the special effects were amazing. The sight of Leo's happy face made Liam's stomach clench. Caleb again. And they were childhood friends. That meant Caleb knew him better than anyone. Distracted, Liam's character in his game died. He lost all interest in playing. On Saturday, he went to the movie by himself. He couldn't let the other ticket go to waste, so he invited a guy from his class. The plot was engaging, but Liam couldn't focus. The couple in front of him was constantly whispering and kissing. He frowned, his mind drifting to Leo and Caleb watching the same movie. Surely they weren't moving that fast. Leo had just confessed his feelings for him not long ago. Feeling restless, he pulled out his phone. No messages from Leo. Suddenly, a notification popped up from a campus group chat. The power was out in the dorms. Someone was complaining that their lab report hadn't been saved. A jolt went through Liam. If he remembered correctly, Leo had homework to do today and was in the dorm. He also remembered Leo saying he was scared of the dark. Liam excused himself to his classmate and rushed back toward campus. He hurried back to the dorm. Before he could even push the door open, it flew open from the inside and a figure crashed into his arms. Leo was about the same height as him, and the collision was so abrupt that his lips brushed against Liam's earlobe. A flush of heat spread through him. Thank God it was pitch black. Leo wouldn't be able to see him blushing. Leo, startled, steadied himself and his eyes widened in the dark. He asked why Liam was back. Liam, trying to sound nonchalant, said he had to take care of something. He gently pushed Leo away, creating a safe distance. Leo pressed him, asking what was so important that he'd leave a movie. He wondered how Liam even knew the power was out. Backed into a corner, Liam finally admitted it. He'd heard someone was scared of the dark and came back to check on them. Leo scoffed. I said that once. You really thought I was scared of the dark? Damn it. Liam scowled and turned to leave. But Leo grabbed his arm, a playful tone in his voice. Where are you going? Didn't you come back for me? I didn't know you were so worried. Liam denied it, stuttering that he was just afraid Leo's tiny bit of courage would fail him and he'd have a breakdown. He tried to sound composed, but Leo stepped closer. Even in the darkness, Liam could feel the intensity of his gaze. Liam, did you know you stutter when you lie? He could hear the smile in Leo's voice. It seemed the Cold War was over. Relieved, Liam clumsily changed the subject, asking why Leo had been rushing out. Leo explained that without power, he was bored and was going to buy an ice cream bar. Liam offered to go with him. They walked side by side down the dark staircase, using their phone flashlights to see. Leo casually asked about the girl he'd seen Liam with near the basketball court, wondering if they were close. Liam explained that it was just Isabel, a classmate from his lab group. Leo said oh and fell silent. Faking a fear of tripping, he grabbed Liam's arm, his warm palm pressing against Liam's bicep. His curls brushed against Liam's ear every so often, and for no reason at all, Liam's heart began to race again. He and Leo returned to their old dynamic, but with a new boundary. Leo no longer clung to him like before, though they would still occasionally eat together or play games. On Monday, Leo suggested they go to Dining Hall 5 for their amazing stir-fried beef. When Liam arrived, he found Caleb was there too. They exchanged brief introductions. During the meal, Liam noticed how easily Leo and Caleb talked, sharing inside jokes and laughing at the same things. Even though Leo was sitting next to him, Liam felt like he was crashing their date. He picked at his food, the delicious beef suddenly tasteless. Worried that Leo couldn't reach the roasted eggplant on the far side of the table, Liam moved the dish closer to him. Caleb raised an eyebrow. Leo doesn't eat eggplant. He calmly moved the dish back. The two of them shared a look and a small smile, a moment of shared history that excluded Liam entirely. Liam looked down at his plate, pretending not to have noticed. He searched his memory and realized he'd never actually seen Leo eat eggplant. Of course, Caleb would know him better. On the walk back to the dorm, Liam's mind was racing and he quickened his pace. Leo caught up, slightly out of breath. Liam, wait up. I just said a few words to Caleb and you took off. Liam slowed down, noticing the flush on Leo's face. He commented that Leo and Caleb seemed really close. Leo agreed, explaining that they had grown up together, always attending the same schools. He'd thought they would finally be separated for college, but Caleb had decided to follow him here. The words came out flat. That was a special kind of closeness. The unease in Liam's gut finally had a name. He was jealous of Caleb. He hated that Caleb knew Leo better, hated seeing them together. His feelings for Leo, were they just a friend's possessiveness, or was it love? The thought stunned him. One ordinary morning, sitting in class, Liam was aimlessly browsing the campus forum when he saw a post about two of his roommates trending. His sleepiness vanished. Clicking on it, he saw a picture of Sam and Chris holding hands. They had come out. He stared in shock, then scrolled through the comments. While there were some nasty remarks, the overall reaction was far more accepting of a same-sex couple than he would have expected. Later, in their group chat, he and Leo feigned outrage, demanding the new couple treat them to dinner. That night, over pizza, they teamed up to extract all the details of their relationship. Chris was so shy his face was perpetually red, and Sam protectively wrapped an arm around him, telling them to stop teasing. Liam found himself feeling full just from witnessing their happiness. He glanced at Leo. If he and Leo were a couple, maybe it wouldn't seem so strange after all. Even if people judged them, he felt a new sense of courage to fight back. But he also noticed something else. Leo was maintaining a polite distance from him. He used to sling his arm over Liam's shoulders constantly, but now he avoided even brushing against him. It was the distance Liam had wanted, so why did it leave a bitter taste in his mouth? On the walk back, he deliberately fell behind to walk with Leo. Leo was looking at Sam and Chris ahead of them with an envious expression. Liam's heart pounded. He opened his mouth to say something, but the words wouldn't come. Just as he finally found his voice, Leo's phone rang. Liam could faintly hear Caleb's voice on the other end. Whatever he said made Leo's brow furrow. After hanging up, Leo turned to him. "Liam, something came up. I have to go. You head back with them." Liam instinctively grabbed his arm. "What is it?" "I have to talk to you." Leo gently pulled away. "Caleb's sick. I'm gonna get him some medicine. We can talk when I get back." Then he was gone, running toward the pharmacy. Seeing his urgency, it was clear how much he worried about Caleb. The knot in Liam's stomach tightened again. It was worse than taking a shot of cheap whiskey. Didn't Caleb have any other friends? Why did he always have to call Leo? By the time Leo returned, the dorm was dark. He never asked what Liam wanted to talk about, and Liam didn't bring it up again. Courage was a fleeting thing. For the next week, Leo was constantly with Caleb, who had sprained his ankle and needed someone to look after him. Liam watched him running around, his face growing thinner. Clearly, his childhood friend was more important. Liam threw himself into gaming, ending one day with an 11-game losing streak. As evening fell and Leo still wasn't back, Liam grabbed his clothes and headed to the showers. Halfway through, he realized he'd forgotten his towel. He was debating whether to make a run for it or just air dry when he heard the dorm room door open. It was probably Chris. "Chris," he called out, "can you grab my towel for me? It's in my closet." He heard footsteps pause, then head toward the bathroom. "Thanks, man." He opened the door a crack and reached for the towel, but it wouldn't budge. Steam billowed out. He peered through the haze and saw it was Leo. His face was dark, his eyes glaring at Liam as if he'd committed some grave offense. "What are you doing? Let go. You're letting all the cold air in." Liam shivered. Leo released the towel. Just as Liam was about to shut the door, Leo pushed it open and stepped inside. The small shower stall suddenly felt cramped with him so close. "Liam, are you seeing someone?" Liam was baffled. "Who told you that?" Leo sneered, his expression saying, "Don't play dumb with me." He said a girl had stopped him downstairs and asked him to bring a bubble tea and a dessert up to Liam. "What?" he spat. "You reject me and immediately find a replacement. Afraid I won't leave you alone? What are you talking about?" Liam thought for a moment. It must have been Isabel. He asked if the girl had long hair and a small face. Leo's expression grew even colder as he confirmed it. Liam explained it was his lab partner, probably just thanking him for his help with the project. Leo seemed to believe him, his suspicion wavering. Liam was acutely aware of his state of undress, holding the towel in front of him. He told Leo to get out so he could finish his shower. "No," Leo said. "I haven't asked you yet. What were you going to tell me that night?" Liam pushed at him, telling him to get lost. But Leo caught his wrists and pinned him against the door. His gaze was intense. "Tell me." "Tell you what?" Liam shot back, his own anger rising. "You're so busy with your precious childhood friend. What could I possibly have to say to you?" He glared at him. So now, after he was done playing nursemaid to Caleb, he finally remembered Liam existed? What does Caleb have to do with this? We're just friends. Friends? You expect me to believe that? Leo paused, and a flicker of light returned to his eyes, a cunning glint. You don't? Then what do you think we are? Liam gritted his teeth and said nothing. Leo's smile widened. You don't think? I got over you and started chasing him. Do you? Get out of here. Who you chase has nothing to do with me. Liam struggled, but without clothes, he was at a disadvantage. You're jealous, aren't you? Leo cupped his face, his voice smug. Liam, are you maybe starting to like me too? The direct hit made Liam's ears burn. Before, he might have been confused, but his racing heart had already given him the answer. He had probably liked Leo for a long time without even realizing it. Leo's voice softened. Caleb and I are just friends. We got into a lot of fights growing up, always had each other's backs. It's normal for us to take care of each other. If you don't like it, I can keep a polite distance. I can take care of only you from now on. His eyes were shining with sincerity. Liam's heart hammered against his ribs. Really? Really? I'm a very good boyfriend. You want to give it a try? He coaxed, his smile sly. And just like that, Liam walked straight into his trap. He nodded, admitting that yes, he liked him. Leo's smile broke into a wide grin. He leaned in to kiss him. Liam flinched away nervously. What are you doing? Kissing my boyfriend? No, not now, I'm still showering. I'm not even dressed. Get out. Leo just pouted, hooking an arm around his neck and refusing to be denied. He might look sweet, but his kiss was surprisingly fierce, almost bruising. By the time they finally emerged from the bathroom, Liam looked in the mirror and saw his face was flushed, with faint red marks on his neck from where Leo had gripped him. Suddenly, the dorm room door opened and Sam walked in with a stack of books. He took in the sight of them standing so close, their guilty expressions, and his eyes narrowed. Liam quickly pushed Leo away, terrified that Sam had already figured it out. But Sam said nothing. He just sat down at his desk and calmly opened his laptop. The silence was more terrifying than an accusation. Liam scurried to his bunk, and he and Leo pretended nothing had happened. From that day on, their relationship changed from brothers to boyfriends. Leo now had a legitimate excuse to climb into Liam's bed to watch a movie and then stay the night. The other roommates were used to their closeness and never said a word. In fact, Sam and Chris were far more overt with their own affection. constantly being sweet to each other in the dorm. One night, with Leo's arms wrapped around him, Liam quietly asked if he'd ever thought about being public with their relationship. Leo chuckled, kissing his shoulder. I have, but I think sneaking around is more exciting. The dorm was dark, and no one would notice the two figures tangled together in the corner. Leo was even clingier than before. He would crowd Liam's space even when he was just trying to do homework. And he was true to his word. He maintained a polite distance from Caleb. Liam had even tested him once, asking if he'd ever had feelings for Caleb. Leo had looked him straight in the eye and said absolutely not, adding that Caleb's younger brother was fiercely possessive and he wouldn't have dared get too close even back home. Liam felt a secret thrill of satisfaction at that. He was trying to finish a paper when Leo, claiming to be tired from gaming, draped his legs over Liam's. His foot began to swing back and forth, his ankle brushing against Liam's in a way that was maddeningly distracting. Liam slapped his leg. Behave. Leo feigned innocence, claiming he wasn't doing anything, but his foot kept moving. You little. Liam turned his head to scold him and was met with a kiss. After, Leo wrapped his arms around his neck and whispered, Babe, I got us tickets to the Killers. Want to go? Of course. Liam shouted, his frustration melting away into pure excitement. He hugged him tightly. The little sneak had been holding onto that surprise all day. They spent the rest of the night planning the trip, booking a hotel and flights. At the concert, the energy was electric. The stadium was a sea of people, and when the band took the stage, the roar was deafening. Liam and Leo waved their light sticks, screaming along with the crowd. Suddenly, the giant screen flashed to a shot of the crowd, and their faces were right in the center. Liam froze for a second, then grabbed Leo's face and kissed him hard. Leo, stunned at first, quickly kissed him back. A wave of cheers and applause erupted from the people around them. It was the first time Liam had initiated a kiss like that, but he knew it wouldn't be the last. From now on, he would be proactive in understanding, caring for, and protecting him. He no longer had to fear the judgment of others because he had Leo. Back at the hotel, they were still buzzing with excitement. It should have been a perfect night. Instead, they discovered an unforeseen complication. They were both tops. Leo pushed him onto the bed, then Liam flipped him over. They went back and forth until they were both exhausted, sitting on opposite sides of the bed to cool down. I don't care. I'm taller. I'm the one, Leo declared seriously. By half an inch. You don't get to be the one. Besides, you're too cute. You're not a one. I am. Cute guys can't be tops? Who made that rule? The argument devolved into a series of competitions. They decided to settle it with a best-of-3 game of rock, paper, scissors. Liam won the first round. Leo demanded best of 5. Leo won the second. Liam insisted on best of 7. They moved from that to a one-on-one tournament in their favorite fighting game. They played all night, and by the time the sun came up, they had collapsed into sleep without a winner. The next day, Liam woke up feeling like an idiot. What kind of couple spends their night in a hotel battling to the death instead of making out? A message from Chris popped up in their dorm group chat. You guys must have been really hyped after the concert to play video games all night. Sam sent a voice message, audibly holding back laughter. Maybe that's just their thing. On the way back to campus, they were both half asleep. They finally agreed on a compromise. They would take turns. They stopped at a diner for a late lunch. Leo meticulously wiped down a pair of chopsticks with hot water before handing them to Liam. He drowned his own food in hot sauce. After he was done, his lips were red and swollen. Liam stared at his flushed face and once again regretted wasting the previous night. He really was an idiot. What? Why are you staring at me? Leo asked, raising an eyebrow. I was just wondering. When did you start liking me? Leo's face turned an even deeper shade of red. Why are you asking that now? Come on, let's get back to campus. Nope, you have to tell me first. Liam insisted, playfully holding him in his seat. Leo laughed, a little shyly. I don't know. Maybe it was that time I accidentally stepped on your new sneakers, and the first thing you did was grab me and ask if I was hurt. Or that time we all got dessert and Chris ordered 4 things with peanuts, but you were the only one who remembered I was allergic and swapped mine for strawberry. It was a lot of little things. By the time I realized it, I was already stuck on you. I just feel comfortable when I'm with you. Liam watched him, the way his curls bounced as he recounted the memories, and felt a familiar warmth spread through his chest. Let me be the one. I can make you even more comfortable. Liam, you're shameless. We were having a serious conversation. Leo shoved him. Liam caught him in a hug, laughing softly. Leo, he whispered, you're so cute. Noticing the diner was empty, he leaned in for a kiss. Leo covered his mouth. Not yet. It's your turn. You haven't said why you like me. I'll tell you later. He kissed him anyway, his lips trailing along his jaw, his earlobe. Leo's skin grew warmer, redder. They pulled apart abruptly when they noticed the security camera pointed directly at their booth, and they scrambled out of the diner in an awkward rush. Their relationship remained a secret in the dorm for a long time. Then, one rainy Friday when Liam had no classes, he was reading in the dorm when Leo messaged him, asking what he wanted for lunch. When he didn't reply, Leo nudged him in their group chat. Liam, on autopilot, nudged him back. The custom messages appeared instantly. Leo patted your hand and wants a hug. You patted Leo's head and want a kiss. The group chat went dead silent. Before Liam could delete the messages, the other 2 members chimed in. He frantically switched to a private chat with Leo. Liam, when did you change my nudge message? Leo, yesterday. Isn't it cute? Liam, you nudged me in the group chat on purpose, didn't you? You're a schemer. Leo, I was just testing it out. I didn't know you'd fall for it so easily. He sent a smug emoji. The dorm group chat exploded. Sam spammed them with messages. Sam, I knew it. I knew something was up with you too. Sam, and you guys gave us grief for keeping our relationship a secret? You 2 are worse. Sam, same rules. That pizza place. You're buying. I'm ordering everything you 2 got last time. Chris, deal. Leo, fine. 7p. Don't be late. That night at the restaurant, Sam grilled them for details. Leo's ears turned bright red as he focused on mixing a dipping sauce for Liam. It was nice, for once, not to be the only couple getting teased. After they had confessed everything, Sam smirked. So, you 2 have been together this long and said nothing? And you live together. You haven't been doing anything you shouldn't be in the dorm behind our backs, have you? Neither Liam nor Leo dared to answer. They had asked Sam the exact same question weeks ago. Karma was swift. Hey, let's just eat, Liam said, trying to change the subject. The meatballs are getting overcooked. He scooped the food from the spicy side of the pot into Leo's bowl. Ooh, not denying it? Sam, ever the instigator, exchanged a knowing glance with Chris. They both grinned like they understood everything. In truth, they hadn't done anything. Their class schedules were completely opposite. But it was clear the other 2 didn't believe them. Liam and Leo just sat there with burning ears, not sure if it was from the spice or the shame. After dinner, the 4 of them walked slowly back to campus. Sam and Chris walked ahead, and Liam and Leo followed behind. Under the orange glow of the streetlights, their shadows stretched out long and thin. Leo playfully stomped on Liam's shadow, smiling. "Liam, what do you want for breakfast tomorrow? Bagels, maybe?" "Okay, I'll get them for you. You don't have to," Liam said, taking his hand. Leo squeezed his palm in response. "I'll go with you," and he would go with him for all the tomorrows to come.